Does Sean Payton need to give up play calling duties for the Denver Broncos? I feel like there's a bit of an epidemic going on across the NFL right now. Play callers are receiving blame for poor execution by their players. Sean Payton's not the guy who's out there playing the game. He can only affect so much being on the sideline. It's very easy to say that a play call wasn't good when the results don't net what you're looking for, but you've got to peel back the layers of the onion as to why Sean is calling certain plays. First of all, and I want to shout out Mark Schlereth for pointing this out, this was a couple of years ago where sometimes play callers will show a certain look, they'll call a certain run, knowing that that run isn't going to net anything. They know that it's a dead play and it's not worth a crap. But the bad play callers in the NFL will dump that play and they'll say, all right, we can't run this play because it doesn't work. But the good play callers will be like, listen, I understand that this play call is not worth a damn. But if we run it and we commit to it and show that look multiple times, we can get these explosive plays all off of these looks. We can get all these play actions off of a run, even if this run isn't worth a crap. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Additionally, we do have to wonder if there are deficiencies in this offense that Sean Payton is trying to cover up with his play calling. A common complaint that I see is that Sean Payton calls way too many screens and defenses are telegraphing on him. Well, to a certain extent that might be true. There's a reason why Sean Payton is calling screens. It's because they're basically the only thing that is working on offense. I want to go ahead and bring in this tweet from Robbie NFL, one of the best Broncos analysts out there. He keeps things in proper perspective at all times, and he's quite frankly a lot smarter in terms of football than I am, so I like to defer to his opinions quite a bit because he knows what the F he's talking about. Small details like ball placement on third down, a specific play where Bo Nix missed, are why we see so many of the screens and short throws. This offense will never crack top 10 if Bo Nix can't work those pure drop back passing concepts. They can't run the ball early, they can't work the middle of the field because how shallow those two high safeties are playing, they can't hit those isolated shots down the sideline, so what's left to leave? This is an execution issue, and it's not just Bo Nix. The run game, in terms of the blocking in this game, was freaking putrid for the majority of the game. They had some bright spots, but on the whole, the run game absolutely sucked. And yes, Bo Nix was inconsistent and missed multiple deep balls. We talked about Bo Nix in his own video. Do I think that we should be out on Bo Nix? No. Do I think we should bench Bo Nix? No. Do I think that Bo Nix is not the quarterback for this team long term? No. I still believe in Bo Nix. But, quite frankly, the execution has to be better, and it's easy to blame the play caller. It's not as easy to blame the players because those are guys that fans are emotionally attached to. I want to bring in this other tweet here from Robbie because everybody is saying, we should change the play caller. We should change the play caller. Sean Payton's not in anymore. And I understand. I'm just like Robbie here. I'm not trying to be condescending here when I ask this question. I asked the same exact question during the live stream of the game. But what are you looking for to change here? Robbie points out there's going to be a mix of personnel. There's one team in the league who just sits at 11 or 12 personnel. Sean mixes up his personnel a ton. And I understand it's a fair argument that maybe he does it a little bit too much. Maybe you should try to get into a rhythm before you start mixing up personnel, but changing the play caller is not going to drastically change that. The running back snap split won't change either. And if it does, it'll be marginal because of the types of players that Dobbins and Harvey are. And additionally, Dobbins has given the Broncos reason to play him. Harvey, to this point, has not. A change in play caller isn't going to magically create more explosive plays. The pure drop back game will still be inconsistent most likely while Bo Nix is still developing. So again, it just doesn't make sense. And for me, I think the smart thing to do here, if you're the Denver Broncos, is to stay the course. If you shake stuff up, that's how you end up not having consistent success. if you do something that ends up completely drastically changing what you're trying to do, that could have horrible results. I understand fans want Davis Webb to call plays, especially because he had a good showing in a preseason game. It's a bloody preseason game where neither one of the teams were playing starters. I get it, Broncos country. It's easy to blame the play caller. There are some legitimate gripes with Sean Payton. The lack of discipline on this team, it's been a consistent theme since Sean Payton got here. I can't excuse that. There is no way to justify that. You've got to be more disciplined as a team and not shoot yourself in the foot with dumb-ass penalties. Additionally, the fourth down play call, or the fourth down decision, I should say, to punt the ball deep in your own territory, I understand why he did it, but that's not the right situation to punt the ball. You're going up against Justin Herbert. And if you had gone for it there on fourth down, again, on your own 30-yard line and not gotten it, you're surrendering the field goal anyway. If they had kicked the field goal, the Chargers, Denver probably would have had some time to respond, and they could have gone downfield and kicked a game-tying field goal or possibly a game-winning touchdown. But instead, they end up punting the ball. That's a bad decision in my opinion. Sean Payton's protege, Dan Campbell, is a perfect example. Dan Campbell goes for that every single time, especially when you consider who is on the other side at quarterback. He's going to score no matter what, whether you punt the ball to him or whether you go for it on fourth down. You might as well go for it on fourth down and at least give yourself a chance there to convert the first down. That was a cowardly punt. I don't know what the analytics say there. I'll go look, but I believe just based on my knowledge, that is a cowardly punt. So there are some legitimate gripes with Sean Payton, but the play calling's not one of them. The fact of the matter is, Sean Payton dialed up multiple explosive plays where there were wide open receivers, and we were only able to hit on one of those explosive plays. Again, I'm not out on Bo Nix, but Bo Nix had his fingerprints all over this loss today, unfortunately. I still believe in him. I still think he's our quarterback moving forward. But, again, man, any of this talk about Sean Payton being the problem here, he's got his quirks and his moments where you kind of scratch your head with him, but Sean Payton has single-handedly turned this franchise around. I remember what it was like for the years before Sean Payton arrived here. It was miserable! We're somewhat relevant as a team just 3 years after having arguably the worst season in franchise history. This team is on the right track. I understand some of the frustrations, but it's easy to blame certain people. It's not as easy to blame other people. So those are my thoughts on this. Sean Payton should not give up the play calling duties, and we all know he's never going to either. Meanwhile, the Chiefs just missed a deep ball to Tyquan Thornton. Very nice. But we all know that deep down, Sean Payton is never going to give up the play calling duties. You would have to pry them away from his cold, dead fingers. And regardless, even if he were to think about it, I don't think that is the right move for this Denver Broncos team. Alright guys, let me know in the comment section below, do you think that Sean Payton should give up the play calling duties? Do you think that Davis Webb would be the right candidate for that role? Or do you think that they should stick with the course here and maintain Sean as the offensive play caller? Drop those comments down below guys, I would love to hear your thoughts as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it guys, those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time guys, I'm your host Gage Madrid saying peace out.